Hello, precious gems. Welcome or welcome back to my little tarot corner of the internet. My name is Raven, aka Boyish Empress, and I will be your guide, your host, and your tarot reader for the duration of this video. Today, I have another pick a card for you, and this reading is going to be focused on what season you are stepping into next in your life. So we're turning the page. What is your next chapter like? If that interests you, then stick around. We've got these beautiful cards over top. These are from the Archetypes deck by Kim Krans. And sometimes I like doing these open face readings so you can choose either based on the artwork or just help it influence you a bit into maybe what some of the major themes are going to be. But either way, I really want you to focus on which one is drawing your attention, whether that is the word, or it's something about the image, or it's the colors, or it's just the vibe, okay? Just follow your gut. That's what we do here. If you are new to my pick a card readings, or you're new to pick a card readings in general on YouTube, just to give you a little lowdown of what we do here, these are general readings in which I am, for each pile, reading for many different energies, as many energies that are drawn to this video and drawn to each pile. With that being said, these messages are collective, but you may be surprised how much each one resonates for you. The most important thing for me is that I'm telling you to use your intuition and to really feel into your body and your senses to understand which one, if any, of these piles is right for you, okay? So if you choose one of these and you get the reading and it doesn't make any sense to you at all, please don't absorb that, okay? If it really doesn't feel like a message that is meant for you, well, guess what? It's probably not, right? So my purpose in emphasizing using your intuition is that if you're using your intuition, you will be able to gauge which of these messages is for you. And we can all feel a little bit better about, about the process, okay? With that being said, let's get into the pile selection. If you want to be guided into it with me, follow me along. If you want to choose on your own, that is totally okay too. You can pause the video or do what you need to do. But for those who want to be guided with me, let's take a deep breath together. And remember, one of the most important parts of receiving a tarot reading is feeling open and receptive to these messages. So if you've had a hard day today, if anything is weighing on you, let's just take a couple of minutes to shake off that energy, give yourself permission to kind of be refreshed and have this moment for yourself, and know that this is an act of self-love. If these are messages for you and they're messages that resonate for you, it's very meaningful that you're taking time to really sit with yourself and take in these messages from spirit and consider them and how they can affect and shape your life, okay? So let's take one more deep breath and a big sigh out. Very, very nice. Okay, so I'm going to hover my hand over each of these piles, give you about 10 to 15 seconds to feel into your body and the energy of the pile, and you can decide which one is for you. And if several of them feel like they're for you, right on. Okay, so we're starting with pile number 1, the womb. Next, we've got pile number 2, the venom. And pile number 3, the creator. Okay, friends, if you're ready, I'll meet you at the timestamp below. If you're not ready, pause the video, take as much time as you need, do what you need to do, and yes, I will meet you at your pile down below. Okay, if you chose pile number 1, welcome to your reading. The original card was the womb. So, to start off with that, I want to remind my viewers that every card has many meanings. Okay, so for some of you, looking at the womb card might relate to your direct experience of wanting to have a biological child. For some of you, the womb might take on a completely different meaning in your life. For example, creation is not always the creation of life through another human being, though that is an amazing act of creation, but we can also see ourselves, every single one of us, whether we have a, bodily womb or not. We all have the ability to nurture and to bring something into fruition, whether that is a relationship, a dream job, a hobby that we're passionate about. Bringing something into life is really what your next chapter is about and what your next season is about. So if I had to give you an actual season to encapsulate, sorry if you can hear my cat, if I had to label your next chapter with an actual season, I would say that it would be spring. And so I feel you moving out of winter right now, a metaphorical winter, where I see you in a dark room and you're looking out the window and just trying to find a shred of light. And that's what the prayer card here is really reminding me of, is you shrouded in a deep, dark, difficult time in your life, but somehow holding on to hope. And I think part of that is actually through faith. I think that in this chapter that you're moving out of, prayer has been of the utmost importance. I'm feeling the need to tell you that my cat's running around. I'm feeling the need to tell you that to pray is very brave. I think a lot of the time prayer is depicted as this thing where we're feeling very desperate and we're feeling very alone and very needy, and we're just calling out. And I think there is a lot of truth to that, but I also think that prayer is brave in the way that being vulnerable is being brave. Even if you go through phases where you don't believe in a higher power, or you don't believe that something else is out there listening to you, to be able to like sit down or like lay in your bed and speak out to something, or speak in your head to something, it shows a level of vulnerability and emotional nakedness. It's like how hard it is sometimes to ask our loved ones for help, right? It's that same sort of shedding of being like, yeah, I am struggling. Yeah, I do need help. Yes, I have desires. I have needs. And there's something so pure and so beautiful about that. So if what I'm saying about prayer doesn't resonate and you haven't been praying, Spirit's really wanting you to experience this sort of quiet stillness. Just laughing because my cat is not quiet or still right now. Spirit's wanting you to appreciate the quiet stillness of being in prayer and sort of like the meditation that you go into when you're in prayer. So I really want you, as you're stepping into this next phase of your life, I want you to think about desire. I want you to think about passion, and I want you to think about love. Because there's so much in your spread about nurturing. We have the womb, which literally is a container for a seed to grow, right? This sacred space of fertile ground to birth new things into existence. Again, it doesn't have to be a literal womb, just this idea of a container, a space, a garden, if you will. And there's gentleness involved. You have to tend to that. And then going down into the Apprentice of Vessels, this is the Page of Cups. And we have this person sort of like, creating a vessel, which is, wow, is really interesting. Creating a vessel on the kiln. Is that a kiln? I don't create pottery, so if you create pottery, please let me know the right terms. But yeah, this person is literally making a vessel, so right under their womb. That's really beautiful. So learning how to nurture the things that you want and not be afraid of the things that you want to the point where you get into that desperate place. And listen, being desperate, feeling desperation, in a sense, it's fine. And in a sense, it really can draw the things that we need to us. I know that a lot of manifestation people like to say, like, you have to reach this level of detachment. I'm of the belief that certain things that we need and are trying to manifest, we're not able to detach from them. And that doesn't mean that we're not going to get them. So don't think that this place of desperation that you might get in to get this thing that you want will like keep you from getting the thing that you want, but it will more so just like make the process of getting what you want a lot happier and more fluid if you tried to cultivate this, like, I just see you like gardening. I just see you like patiently tending to the earth and planting things and letting them root. And so much patience is involved in the act of gardening. This could be a literal thing that Spirit is trying to get you to do, but I feel like for most of you, this is just like advice that Spirit is giving you about like the way to approach your manifestations. It's with this slower, earthier, maternal energy. I don't like to give pregnancy readings because I think that it's such a personal process to look into becoming a parent, and it can be such a tumultuous process for many, and I would never want to lead anyone into a false place with that. But I do feel like for a lot of you, there is a child energy that is coming through and is saying that it is almost time for you to have a child. So I do get this like creation energy, but for some of you it's a literal child, but for a lot of you it's a manifestation in general. For a lot of you, I see drawing in love. I see getting a pet. I see homemaking. Drawing these things in, and like most of the things that are coming to my mind are things that are going to be like cherished and loved, and that's the purpose of you drawing them to you. So even if it's a job, it's going to be a job that you love, like literally that you're going to like, it's going to be a job that's your baby, So for a lot of you, you're starting a new business in this new chapter. Going into that center panel there with Gnosis and the wheel, Spirit is saying that your luck is changing in this next season, okay? And you're going to be learning new things about yourself and about the world, but don't mistake learning new things as knowing it all. There is an importance of accepting that you will never know the answers to all the things that you want answers for. And this is one of the beauties of your life, but just being a human being in general is like, we can invest our time and energy into learning whatever we want to learn. But there's always, 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 always more. So that's one part of the Gnosis card. But with the wheel, I feel your next season it's a culmination of a lot of time. It's you're gonna have a moment where things finally come together, and you can see for what it is, what your life is becoming, and like what you've created, even if it's just like the little buds of the flowers of your manifestations. You're gonna be like, oh my god, I see it. Even if it's not in full form yet, there's gonna be some act of proof, like some realization that Spirit is going to give you in this next chapter that is going to be such a deep confirmation of what you've been hoping and praying for. I also think it's so interesting that we have the Nurturer, which is the Empress in this deck, and we have the Womb. So the Empress in the original tarot deck, part of what the Empress talks about is nurturing, is providing space for, and does have a maternal energy. So I really just see you babying something and finding the joy in being tethered to things, but in a beautiful way. So the connections that you're making and what you are creating and building, it's not going to feel terrifying or unhealthy. You are going to feel so committed to it, but it's going to be like very, what's the word? Fulfilling. It's going to be very fulfilling work. But I do see you working hard at cultivating this life for yourself, and I see you taking so much pride in your work. For some of you, I see volunteering. I see really community-driven activities. I see like working with the children in your community. I see community gardens. I just see this beautiful coming together of different people under one place. And there's just something about your energy that I just keep getting the word container. And I think for a long time you had all of this room. So this picture of a bowl, it's like this bowl in your belly, and the belly is energetically where we hold a lot of life force energy, a lot of passion. And I just see you like you have this center in your belly and it's been empty for a long time. Once again, for some of you, literal womb. For others of you, not a literal womb. And it's created a great sadness in this winter period of your life, because what can't we do in winter generally? Grow things, right? We can't cultivate a garden in winter the way that we finally can start to in the spring. So you're moving out of this void period into this period of, it's going to be slow at first, but towards the end of this new chapter, it's going to be like overgrowth. And I just see so much joy out of that, because you went from having nothing there in that center to having everything in that center. And I'm getting a little choked up about that because this is like so delicious. And I just got chills. One of the most beautiful things that we can experience is longing for something and getting it. But also Spirit is wanting me to say sometimes we get something and we didn't even know how badly we wanted it until it was in our lives and we were experiencing it. So there's something to that. There's something to like having a new experience in this next season and being like, wow, I didn't even know I needed that, but damn, I really needed that. But you're gonna feel so full in this next season of Life Pile Number 1. I am sending so much love to you. I think I want to pull one final card for you and then I will end your reading. Okay, Spirit, please, can I have one final card for pile number 1 to describe the season that they're moving into? Oh, beautiful. We've got the 3 of Cups, celebration, community, fun. And for some of you, this sense of luxury. But it's like, the feeling of your reading pile number 1 is very much like, you know when you meet someone new, and I'm getting a friend vibe for this, but it could be romantic as well, but you know when you meet someone new and you hang out with them and you hit it off, and you go home and you just feel full. Like sometimes I hang out with my friends and then I go home and I'm like, oh, okay, I do love living. You know what I mean? It's like that experience of remembering how beautiful connection can be and how beautiful life can be. Those moments are so important. So savor those moments that are coming in for you and take it all in. When you feel that joy and that gratefulness rushing over you, you know, that's Spirit giving you a big old hug. That's Spirit just embracing the shit out of you and saying you deserve good things and good things still exist and you will experience them. Pile number 1, I was so happy to read for you today. If this reading resonated with you, feel free to give me a comment about what resonated for you and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. But otherwise, I'll see you the next time that we're doing tarot together. Hello, my friends. If you chose pile number 2, welcome to your reading. The top card was the Venom, which we can see on the left corner. The thing that I always receive when I receive the Venom card is this idea of extracting the venom. This idea of like being bitten by something gnarly, and being to a certain extent poisoned by it, and then needing to go through a process of getting that shit out of your body. So pile number 2, that is the first thing that comes to mind when we're talking about the next phase in your life, the next season of your life. If I were to give you an actual season based on the energy that I see here, I think that the next season you're moving into is autumn. So pile number 2, it really feels like the last season of your life was a very intense one. It was one where you were around a lot of people, and these people didn't have the best influence on you. And whether this was intentional or not, we're not talking about that. We're not we're also not here to like shit on anyone necessarily. We're just here to talk about the effect that these people had on you. And even if it was based on reasonable differences or just not getting along, I feel like whoever you started moving away from, they really did a number on your view of self. So we've got the Venom and the Eight of Wands, which tells me that you were kind of hurt and poisoned by this energy that was thrown at you in the past. And in this next season of life, Spirit is kind of pushing you to release these ideas and these feelings that you've built up about yourself and others through this last period of your life, if that makes sense. I see them kind of like putting you to the test. And it's not even necessarily so you can grow. Not that you won't grow. I definitely think that you will. But it's more so you can like feel lighter, because I feel like you've kind of just been put through the ringer. Whoever you were around, like I do get the sense that they didn't understand what they were doing, and maybe they thought it was all in good fun. But you went from someone who felt like they understood what they stood for and felt like they understood who they were, and you got tangled up with people who just didn't get it. And I think that you're also someone who's very absorbent of different energies, and you care very deeply about the people that you are around. So you took on the opinions and the energy of others, and now Spirit is showing me a figure that is like shrouded in this dark smoke, almost like similar to how we have these colors in the Venom card. It's like your essence is a little clouded right now because you're still working on getting yourself out of a situation where you were forced to mistrust yourself and forced to really dull yourself and take on energies that were not yours in order to kind of get through here. But again, Spirit with that Eight of Wands is like pushing this out, pushing it out, trying to get you over this to the other side, because there's some really important work that you're going to need to be doing for yourself, and it's requiring this change in how you view yourself. So the reason I chose autumn as the literal season that you're going into is like you're going into a season of shedding so that you can basically start from scratch and regrow stronger what you have lost. So I can feel that this is like frustrating, and I want to remind you that it's not your fault. And also that you'll get to the other side of this. I want to move into the next set of cards, which is the Box and the Champion of Coins. So the Champion of Coins is the Knight of Pentacles. With the Box, I'm taking it sort of literally, where you are seeing yourself right now as you're placing yourself in a box. And so you're limiting your perception of yourself. You are caging yourself in this one idea of who you are. And my sense is that it's not necessarily a very positive view of who you are. and like what your life can be and what you are supposed to embody, it's like very limiting. Again, I don't think that this comes from you. I think this comes from the group of people that you have separated yourself from. Part of your growth here is going to come when you release yourself from the box. So you're going through a lesson in the next chapter of your life that you are not meant to only be what other people say that you are. You're not meant to be the other people's perceptions of you are not true to life. And I think, unfortunately, you went through a phase where you were like, okay, you think I'm this? Fine, I am this. Just to kind of get you through the difficult time you were in. But this next phase is about saying, I see what you think of me, and fine, you can think that of me. But that doesn't mean I need to think that about myself. There are different views of every single trait we could possibly have. Someone might say that you're selfish for not doing what they want you to do. And from your viewpoint, you're not selfish. You are preserving yourself. Or you just plain have boundaries and you have agency and you reserve the right to say, no, I don't really want to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Spirit wants you to consider how the people around you benefited from you placing yourself in a box. Anytime you feel really, really down about who you are and what you do, first of all, start questioning, do I actually feel this way about myself? Or did this come from an experience I had with another person? Usually I find that deep down, we do feel really connected to ourselves. It's just the experiences that we build up over time can be so heavy and so long-lasting and color our perception. So we lose that connection to who we really are. But you wouldn't be you if you weren't supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Like you are exactly who you are because it's supposed to make sense to you, not because it's supposed to make sense to other people. So freeing yourself of that box is literally, I'm seeing, going to give you great abundance. It's going to send you into the finish line where you can receive stability and where you can regain your passion again. Also, with the two birds being here from the Champion of Coins and the Champion of Wands, some people are going to think that you're fleeing, okay? Some people are going to think that you are cowardly from walking away from them. When really you opened the cage and now you're flying. That's all that's happening. That's all that's happening. If someone wants to keep you caged, they will demonize you when you fly away. But if you are a bird, you're meant to fly, right? You're meant to have dominion over the sky. You're meant to explore. And it feels like, I don't know if this is your family or just some sort of organization of people that is not your family, but they wanted you to stay still. But you have bird energy, so you're not supposed to stay still. You're not supposed to be caged. You're supposed to take that coin in your mouth and fucking run with it, you know? You're supposed to build a nest with it. But you're supposed to have the agency to fly wherever you want to. So, yeah, it feels like you lost your passion along the way because it was basically, you were diluted. And that sucks. And I'm really sorry that you had that experience. Because there was something that you wanted to do, or some place that you wanted to go, or someone that you wanted to be, and the people around you said no. They said that's not possible, or they said that's stupid, or they said you'll never do that. And it's important for us to have encouraging people around us. When we don't have a saving grace like that, when we only are surrounded by people who are negative about the things that light us up, sometimes we stop lighting up because we know that that flame is just going to be stamped down. And I don't blame you at all for doing that. It was self-preservation. It was what you needed to do at the time. But now you're being asked to shed all of the false things that you learned about yourself and find, once again, who you are and what you like and what you're passionate about without anyone else's influence. Unless that influence is cheering you on about the things that light you up. There's no space in your life for someone who talks shit about your joy. That is so awful. That is so awful. And I know it sounds like duh, but I know how it is. I know how we can make excuses for people, and we can try to understand their point of view, and we can also turn it in on ourselves and be like, well, what am I doing wrong for this person to treat me this way? All you were doing was trying to figure out what you wanted and trying to find your passion, and try to express your passion. And you're on your way to embodying that again. So I really hope that this reading is coming off as encouraging. Because I'm not blaming you for this shit. I am blaming the people who place so much doubt in you. You don't deserve to feel doubtful about yourself and your gifts and what you love. We are a miracle to even be here. Nothing makes any sense. Everything's confusing. Everything's weird. You know, we are entitled to love things, at the very least. So, pile number 2, I'm just sending you so much love. I'm sending you so much love, so much encouragement, so much revival of the things that light you up, because I want to rip my heart out of my chest and give it to you right now. Like, you deserve so much. You deserve the things that you love. And you deserve not to be bogged down by other people's insecurities and other people's doubt. So you're just learning how to, like, first of all, purge that shit from your energetic body. And then move forward. And Spirit's wanting me to remind you that you're always going to come in contact with those people. Unfortunately, those people are always going to be around. Those people who don't believe that they could build a good life for themselves, and therefore they don't believe that you could build a good life for yourself. They don't believe that you could be smart or interesting or beautiful or influential, because they don't believe that they could be any of those things. And that's sad. I wish that everyone could believe that they could build a better life for themselves. But not everyone does. And you really have to fly on knowing that you have enough of you intact to continue on your journey. You had a lot of setbacks because of whatever this social situation was, whoever this village was. You had a lot of setbacks because of them and how they influenced you. But don't beat yourself up for being influenced by people. That is what we're supposed to do as humans. In connections, we're supposed to absorb, to a certain extent, each other's energies and experience each other. It's just a shame that it was such a... Oh, my throat's closing up. It was such a painful connection. Pile number 2, I'm going to pull one more card for you, my loves, before we get out of here. Spirit, please, can I have one final card for pile number 2 to encapsulate their next season of life? Please and thank you. 8 of coins. Yep. My friend, you are building. You're going to be in a place where you can finally build. And look at that smile. Look at that smile. Look at that pride. You're going to be working on things and be like, hell yeah, this is who I am. Look at what I can create. There's such a level of satisfaction and belief in oneself in this next season of your life. And even when you're really struggling to build, because you're building the show from the ground up, like I feel it. So it's going to be hard sometimes. But take every single win, no matter how small, and like, you know, metaphorically put that shit on your refrigerator. Be like, yes, I did this. I got out of bed this morning. I cleaned my room. I have an apartment. I have running water. I can afford to buy groceries. Whatever it is. Like, it could be these basic things, but it could also be, fuck, I made art for the first time in 5 years. Whatever it is, please, please, please find so much pride and appreciation for yourself for the growth that you've done even under very difficult circumstances. Alright, pile number 2, thank you so much for watching this video. It was a pleasure to read for your energy. If you enjoyed this video, please leave me a like, leave me a comment, and let me know more specifically what resonated with you. And if you want to see more videos like this, of course, you can subscribe to my channel. But otherwise, I'll see you the next time that we are slinging cards on this table together. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Creator. The other cards we have here are the Maiden and the Mother, which very, very interesting. The Ace of Wands, the Eight of Cups, and Judgment. So I'll start by choosing an actual season that I feel like goes along with your energy here. I feel like your season is summer. Your season is summer. The first word I really get is realizations. But it's very interesting because there's this very punchy energy with that Ace of Wands and also the Judgment. But paired with the Mother and Maiden, it's such an interesting dynamic. You may have almost chose or also chosen pile number 1 because we had a lot about nurturing and nourishment. And in a sense, mothering, literally or figuratively, in pile number 1. So if you're still interested after this video, you might want to go watch that one. But pile number 3. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of different messages here. Let me try to ground in. So I feel like the next chapter of your life is one in which you're going to be receiving a lot of realizations. For some of you, this is realizations around parenthood. For others of you, this is related to the past and some of your first experiences with intimacy. There's something about patching up things here. I'm going to start with the Creator and the Ace of Wands, though. So there's been a lot of different things that you have been reckoning with. And if you're not already aware, I will tell you now, you are being asked to funnel your experiences into creation and use the difficult experiences that you've had recently, or the things that are just really sticking to you. It doesn't matter if it happened 10 years ago. It feels like there's things resurfacing through you. And in order to cleanse, we've got kind of like a smoke stick there. So the act of cleansing through passion and through creativity is going to be so transformative for you. So you're being asked in the next phase of your life to prioritize this, to prioritize the act of creation and seeing it as an act of transformation to move through the things that you've been stuck on. The people, places, and things that just hang out rent-free in the back of your mind and keep you from moving forward. Feels like for a lot of you, this is like either, I get like this soft, feminine, motherly energy. And so for some of you, it has to do with motherhood. So it has to do with your literal mother or being a mother. But for others of you, I get this like sensation of healing from something that has happened when you were a young woman. Obviously, that won't be for everyone because, you know, maybe some of you aren't women or don't identify as women, and that's totally okay. This could be about your mother, or it could just be something related to nurturing and either you trying to nurture somebody else or somebody else failing to nurture you. Take it as it feels right to what is hanging on your heart, what is still tugging on your heart that needs to be cleared. A lot of you are painters, a lot of you are visual artists, but some of you are also dancers. I see work with the body. I also see collaging and knitting. And this act of committing yourself to transforming old experiences through creativity is going to make you feel so close to yourself. And it's going to provide healing and nurturing to those parts of you that are aching. And with that Eight of Vessels, literally, like we have this vessel with a big crack in it. And we're searching for that missing piece. With the Maiden right above, it absolutely feels like it's somehow related to your experience of your sensuality and your physicality, wanting to be appreciated for who you are at a vulnerable and very naked level. Then we have Judgment and the Mother. That's such an interesting combination. So we have this reckoning, this awakening experience. And I'm also drawn to the egg in this card. It's like a realization about something that you have been wanting to bring into life. And I just feel like it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks, but like in a good way. Just it's like a climax moment. It's like a climax moment. For some of you, you could take that literally. You could be having a sexual experience that just brings you into a place of this mind-blowing awareness of everything that you've been through and everything that you've lost through the act of being soft and through the act of being yourself. But for others of you, it's about the act of creating in general. I also want to remind you that sexual energy is creative energy. So we can use those things interchangeably. You know, when we are feeling like we want to create, we could engage in intimacy, and vice versa. If we feel like we want to engage in sexual intimacy, we can create a piece of art, and those energies are linked. So that can be a very powerful route for you for this next chapter of your life. I just see this like field that is very overgrown. And to find your way through, you kind of have to like whack the weeds. I see you like going through with like I don't know what the weapon or the tool is called, but it's like this big sword, and you're just like whacking grass as you go along, creating a path for yourself, and saying like, all right, now I have space to walk. I think I want to pull some more cards for you, pile number 3. I feel a lot of different energies for this pile, so it's not coming in as like directly as some of the other piles, so I apologize if it's like sort of confusing. But you're certainly in this next chapter, in this next season, you're going on your own journey where you are centering creativity, and you're centering the act of personal transformation, of making the things that have happened to you into something else, something that will leave behind love. Spirit, can you please help me to center in on what pile number 3 needs to know about their next chapter? Please help me to clarify. First, let's clarify the Creator and the Ace of Wands. All right. We've got the Magician. And we also have the 5 of Coins. Yeah. Absolutely. Literally, what was I just saying? Turning that misfortune into something beautiful. I'm sorry, there's a glare. Let me move that down. Turning that misfortune and that feeling of not having enough, not being enough, and using it to empower you, using it to help light a fire under your ass. Spirit, please clarify the Maiden and the 8 of Vessels. Page of Wands. Yep. One more, please. For the Maiden and 8 of Vessels. And we have the 6 of Wands. Yes. So you're going on this journey to it's almost like you're trying to revive something that was lost. I'm seeing like someone searching for like artifacts from an old world. You're like searching for a piece of the puzzle and trying to understand something about what you went through, trying to understand the purpose maybe behind some sort of suffering that you've had. I don't know if that's correct though, not necessarily the purpose, but there's a piece of information surrounding that void, that empty feeling that I was talking about earlier, that might have to do with your teenage years, or your mother, or you being a mother. There's a missing piece, and once you receive that missing piece, you're going to feel so whole, and you're going to feel like you understand what is going on again. Let me try. Okay, so perfect. We'll clarify the Mother and Judgment, and I really want to see, Spirit, like, what is this Judgment moment? What is this? Can you give me some more information about this missing piece? I see you traveling through the hot sun too. Awakening. Yes, I know. I understand that. Awakening. I feel like that was stating the obvious. Can I have any more specifics than that, Spirit, about what is the awakening? What does the awakening have to do with for my pile number 3 viewers? Please help me out here. The Two of Swords, yeah. I want to try to get one more out of them. One more, please. What was that? Three of Cups. And the Hermit at the bottom. Okay, so they're not giving me much, to be honest with you. They're not wanting to, I think because, I mean, it makes sense. They're not wanting to give me the information of what you're discovering, because then it would take away your moment, your light bulb moment of discovery. But I see you in this next phase of your life, like walking through the hot sun, carving out a path for yourself, searching. It's almost like this could be internal too, where you're just like taking a bunch of walks and you're just spending more time with yourself and you're digging deep into yourself to understand the things that have happened to you in the past so that ultimately you can heal from them. But that's the first process. It's like spending time with yourself, agreeing with yourself to go on the journey of like digging things up from deep underground within yourself. And then the other part of that is like taking all the stuff that you find, these artifacts, all of these things, and deciding what to do with them. So you have all this energy that you've collected, you have all these things that you've discovered. And I think the light bulb moment and that judgment moment, that awakening, is going to come in and bust out all the confusion that you've been feeling. You've had a blindfold on. You haven't understood where to go next. You haven't understood what all of this was for and where all of your feelings are supposed to go. But your awakening is going to come when you start funneling these past things and making them into something new, like collage art. Which is funny that I said that, because this deck is literally collage art. So you're taking images from other places, from old magazines, from old books. You're cutting them out and you're pasting them on a new thing. So it's like this makeshift experience where you're taking old things from a bunch of different places and you're creating something new with it. That's really the feeling that I get from your energy in this next chapter of your life. And I know it's not as specific as you probably wanted it to be, but Spirit's not giving me what the light bulb moment is, because you need to have that amazing moment of clarity yourself. What I want you to take from this reading is that you are a creator. What I want you to take from this reading is that you deserve to understand. Even if it's understanding that you went through some suffering and it was senseless. Even if it's understanding that you didn't deserve what you went through. But what you do deserve is to get that out of your system and get it onto paper, you know? Get it out of yourself and into the world so that it can affect other people in a positive way, and you can make other people feel understood by the realizations that you've had about your own experiences. I really feel like something about this has to do with some sort of abuse or mistreatment. And it's been very, very painful for you. And it's been I just feel such confusion around you, around your energy. And Spirit wants you to know that, like, the confusion is part of it. The confusion is part of it, and you're meant to explore using that sense of, like, what the hell is going on? Just pick a direction and run with it. But it's like, it is this hermit period that you're moving into, which is funny because it feels like summer energy, but it's like you running through these fields by yourself. You watching these strange, beautiful flowers open up by yourself and making sense of the world within you and around you. I'm going to clear the table, and then I'm not going to clear the table. I'm just going to pull one more for you, pile number 3, to end this reading. Spirit, can I have one final message? What would you like to impart to pile number 3 viewers about this next season? The moon. That makes such sense. Following the mystery, accepting the mystery, and accepting the ocean within you, the ocean of emotion and passion and mystery and pain really within you. There's a lot of Piscean energy here. Also, I get Sagittarius for some reason as well. You're really trying to make sense of some things that are unexplainable, but your pursuit is not necessarily about getting like one complete answer for why something happened. It's more so for you to have this light bulb moment about yourself, not about what happened to you. You're learning something about yourself and your path here, your connection here to spirit, your connection to joy, this revival of joy and connection in your life. You're not necessarily supposed to like understand why you had to go through what you went through, but you will find healing in spending time with yourself and reconnecting with that essence of yours and reconnecting with your ability to create, to transform, to transmute, to alchemize the things that have happened to you. And that's one of the most beautiful things that you can do. All right, pile number 3, thank you so much for watching this video. It was a pleasure to read for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please leave me a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this, and comment to let me know what resonated for you. But otherwise, I will see you the next time that we're reading tarot together. I hope you have a great day or night, wherever you are. Bye.